Unmute. Hello, good evening, everyone. It's Wednesday night again, and it's the last Wednesday of the month. And since it's the last Wednesday of the month, it's our mental health check in with MindNation. So please do say hi in the chat box so that we can all greet you. And of course, I will bring my lovely co host for tonight, which is Kat Trevino. Come on in. Wait, nagsasalisi kami. Okay, go in. Hello. Hi. Hi, Kat. How are you?
Hi. Okay, it
Hello.
took a while for me to come in. Hello, Dar. Hi. Thank you again for having us. We're so excited to do another live stream with BDJ and MindNation.
Yes. And we see like there's Naz and Kate. Please do share where you're watching us from so we can like greet you and so the other people then watching us tonight are aware that parang we're live all over the place. So
Yes.
oh, before I forget, Kat, I'll just make a plug that we have a giveaway now every episode. So in this episode, to be able to qualify, you do sign up at bit.ly/BDJ Studio sign up and comment with your key takeaways from tonight's session. And one viewer will win an Essentials notebook and a Dare to be Grateful card. So there.
Ooh. This month is also Mental Health Awareness Month, which makes
Yes.
this episode extra special because the whole BDJ learning series with MindNation is really all about understanding your mental health and taking care of your overall well-being. So this episode, out of all episodes, is possibly one of the most important, if not the most important, diba?
Yes, correct. And of course, it's equal. It's even more so important because of our special guest tonight. Our
Yes.
special guest tonight is the president. Is a, is
She's
a
the
president. She's
founder
the
and
chief
CEO.
founder and CEO. Sorry, founder and CEO of MindNation. So tonight we are very excited to be able to discuss a lot of some of the issues that we have for mental health with our special guest tonight, and of course, Kat and I will be jumping in also to be able to give a bit of input. So we'll talk more about. We'll properly introduce our speaker in a while. But Kat, before we do that, just a check in. How have you been in the past month?
Oh my goodness. When you asked me this pre-show, I didn't know what to answer because it's really like Christmas. And we joke about that in my nation because it's mental health month. And for me
Yes.
as well, when I kind of double hat as an environmentalist and it's also month of the ocean. So I'm just like, oh no, there's so many things happening. But so grateful. It's really just every day I wake up feeling refreshed and like energized to go out and talk about my advocacy, talk about the things I'm passionate about, and to make new advocates out of everyone that I meet. So I'm so excited. I would probably rate myself an 8,
An
mostly
eight
because
this month.
it's good, diba? And it's
Yes, yes,
mostly because
yes.
I'm being pushed by the advocacies and everybody, the messages that we get in Mind Nation, the partnerships we've been having, and the ones that we're having now with Belvidere. It's all so exciting. It really um, validates everything that we've been doing. How about you, Dar? How have you been feeling?
This months have been also crazy for us, but I think yours is better than ours. Because right now, siguro what we've been realizing is that the pandemic is affecting us in a difficult way. So this is something that we have been talking about the past month, because one of the things that we see really nowadays is that there's really, I mean, we've seen in the world, diba, in the past few years, is there's really a mental health stigma. And then at the same time, there's really a recognition that we observe that some of our community members are also saying that sometimes they're worried that they won't hindi sila makasabay with us. So, and because we have that feedback, we decided to also started opening up in terms of our challenges as well, that maybe it seems in social media that we're all perfect, we're happy, we're doing everything because we're a bit noisy, or we're doing this or we're doing that. But the truth is there's still a lot of real struggles and real challenges that we're going through as a company. So this month, yun, I guess in line with Mental Health Awareness Month, it's something that we actively talked about and share with our community. And as part of my nation's messages is always um, ask for help when you need it. So, and that's exactly what we've been sort of practicing the past month. And so siguro sa akin, the reason I would still score it like a 7 to 8 is because, Kat, I don't know, parang feeling ko nagka-breakthrough ako. You know, there's this
Mm,
shame when you're asking for help. Because when you're asking for help, it means that you could not do it. You cannot hack it, right?
yeah,
So there's
yeah.
that feeling that, kaya ka ba nagpapatulong kasi hindi mo kaya? Diba? That negative voice in our head that parang like, parang gano'n. So, and I guess it's a journey that we're still going through as a company and as a team. And it's something that we're hoping to be able to break through.
It's so nice that
So,
you're honest about this, about the challenges that you guys are experiencing. Because I know a lot of people also, as much as we want to seem perfect and we got it all together on social
yes.
media, it's really hard. I rated myself an 8, but it doesn't mean that I'm not feeling the tiredness, and it doesn't mean that I'm
Yes.
not feeling the challenges as well. Like, part of these, I agree with you, and I'm the same way. When I was in the middle of having so many talks in one day, I felt like, I can't do this, and I need to ask for help. I need to seek help. I need to take care of myself. And it's not about saying that you can't. Kaya mo naman. Kaya mo, but it's just better, easier, more efficient if you do it together. If you get someone to help you. And there's no shame in that. And that's exactly
Correct,
what we're going to
correct.
be talking about today. That's shame. we want to
Exactly.
we want you guys to let go of it.
Clear. Let go of
Clear
that
that
mental
shame.
stigma. And actually, what's interesting, Kat, when we started to ask for help, there was a lot outpouring love and support from our family and friends, which I guess help manage with the stigma.
Yeah.
So, ayan, I think we have enough juices for our topic for tonight. And it's time to introduce our special speaker tonight. So our speaker for tonight is Kana Takahashi, the founder and CEO of MindNation at the University of Santo Tomas. And she co-founded also UST Hiraya. She's an intersectional feminist, which is an intersectional feminist organization whose advocacies include anti-violence against women, gender equality, cultural diversity, human rights, and mental awareness. A fierce advocate of the health as well as women's rights, Kana, is it Kana? Am I pronouncing
Canna.
Kana?
Yes.
Volunteers with organizations like Maya, the Feminist Collective, and Mental Health. She has said in an interview that her biggest dream for Mind Nation is to have a future where all Filipinos have access to mental health. So, without further ado, let us welcome Kana Takahashi. Welcome, Kana.
Hello.
Hi, Canna.
So nice to meet you
It's
guys.
so funny. I'm just gonna chica that even though we are from the same organization, this is how busy we are. This is the first time we're actually speaking
I
face to
know.
face.
Oh
It's so
no.
funny. But yes, Dar, meet Kana, our wonderful CEO and founder of Mind Nation, and everybody else, meet Kana.
Yes, I'm
How are
Hello.
you feeling, Kana?
here.
How are you
It's so
feeling?
amazing, Kana, what you've been able to put out in this world through Mind Nation. You've been helping so many people, and I'm so amazed with the advocacy. And I'm so happy to have met Kat. And then, like when I met Kat, she wasn't in Mind Nation yet. And then when she was sharing me about this special advocacy of hers, but I was like, oh, go for the follow your heart. So we
Oh,
had those kinds of conversations when she was telling me about this when Mind Nation was still starting and
mhm.
how it really affected her and changed her life. So being able to have this opportunity to do this advocacy. So wala lang.
Yeah, thank you. It wouldn't be possible without Kat, honestly.
My goodness, there's so much reasons to be grateful for. But maybe you can tell us more. I know about you, but maybe you can tell us more about yourself. I know that you took up psychology in college.
Yeah.
Tell me where exactly your mental health advocacy started.
Yeah, actually, it was in college, but I didn't expect it because I studied psychology because I wanted to go to med school after. But I mean, hindi siya natuloy. So I have this professor. He's teaching abnormal psychology, if I remember correctly, and I really idolize him because he just speaks well. He's so smart. He does all of these advocacy work. His name is Dr. Mark Reyes, and basically at the first part of the course, he was just telling us about the mental health and the stigma related to it and the help that we have here in the Philippines. And basically, it doesn't exist. And way back 2014, the mental health advocacy, wala pa yan, hindi pa siya nag-exist. And so, what happened was after his class, I approached him. I said, "Oh, doc, do you know organizations, even school organization that tackles mental health, that does the work for mental health? I want to join. I want to learn more, even if it's just seminars, etc." And then he did. He recommended me to this organization. I started attending all of these educational talks, seminars, and then yeah, that's how I fell in love with the mental health advocacy. And ayun, nagtuloy-tuloy na siya until natap kami to help with the mental health law. We did more advocacy work, and then there comes MindNation. So yeah.
That's amazing. A lot of things kasi sometimes no parang it's amazing how something you were doing in college or sparked in college is something really that you're able to continue on, and I think that not a lot of people are also able to do that. So that's I mean hands down ang galing mo Hannah, for being able to do this. So going to our topic for tonight, I guess the question in everybody's heads right now, since why is it so hard to talk about mental health? Why do you think like there's a stigma, or that there's this stigma that happened or parang in the past? That's ngayon, 'di ba yun yung nangyayari even right now. Despite, why do you
Yeah,
think it exists?
yeah. Well, I feel like to start, it's because initially we're a conservative Catholic country. No, na every time we experience problems, every time we experience even sadness or depression, we're just told to just suck it up because diba, it's famous that Filipinos are resilient. So I feel like that thinking really na feed niya yung stigma sa atin na parang if you have mental health problems, you're weak. If you have mental health problems, baliw ka or may sayad ka. Ang daming ganyang terms na derogatory when it comes to describing people who experiences mental health concerns. And so I feel like it's really more about the culture that we have as a country, that we need to further the education and the awareness of what mental health is, what it really is, and what are the other aspects attached to it.
Absolutely. I think to add to it also, when you talk about emotions in general, it's something that's going on in your head. Like compared to physical health, it's not something that's visible, and so it doesn't seem like it's something important when, and you don't know, you can't see physically right in front of you if things are going downhill or if you're not your best or if you're experiencing burnout. And because of that culture that we have to keep going, we have to be resilient, which we actually define in Mind Nation is when you talk about resiliency, it's not about going back to normal. It's not about being able to smile through adversity. It's about being better, understanding what your challenges are, and thriving and getting to overcome your challenges and learning from it. So when you think about being resilient in a traditional sense, and when you talk about your emotions at work, they think that it's a sign of weakness. It's something that's just in your head. You can fix it if you focus on positive thoughts, but it's not always that easy. So having that kind of narrative in your head na you don't get to see it physically, and therefore it's not important, therefore it's something that you can fix on your own, is heavily contributing to the stigma.
Agree. I don't think I'll be able to add any more to that, but 100% agree to both of you regarding how the stigma is like, I guess, ingrained in our culture, and then at the same time, because it's not so physical, it's something in our heads, it's something inside us. Parang it's easy to dismiss because it cannot be seen, but it's very, very much real. So
Absolutely.
going back, circling back to what Kana was talking about regarding our culture, do you guys can you guys think about some mental health myths or tropes in our culture?
Kana.
Well, one major thing that I notice is that people always think that if you're well, if you present yourself as you're well, as you're happy, is that you're okay, you're 100% okay, which is not the case. All of us, walang exempted when it comes to feeling all of these mental health issues. No, so it's all about preventative care, it's all about education, it's all about seeking help, having the great support system. It's all about those things. So it doesn't necessarily mean that if you see someone na he or she is happy, thriving, etc., that that person is not experiencing challenges in their life. And then I feel like the most second one is um, when people tell, kasi diba, all of us usually when we experience stuff, we share to our family and friends. And the usual thing that I get when I did before was magdasal ka lang, which is not a bad advice. Let me tell you, it's not bad advice, but it varies from person to person. You have to respect the level of spirituality of that person. You don't have to impose something on the person, diba? Parang when I got kasi when I was sharing this to a friend, an ex-friend, she was telling me na, oh, hindi ka kasi nagdadasal. Kaya ka nakaka-experience ng ganyan. Kasi hindi ka nagsisimba, hindi ka nagana. Which is, I mean, okay. Pero yun, I feel like we need to apart from those suggestion na medyo religious, medyo specific, let's just listen. and let's just provide proper support and recommend them or refer them to mental health professionals. Kasi yun talaga eh. And sometimes people, nafe-feed sila nung ganong mga advice na parang, oo nga, hindi ako nagdadasal, so maybe kaya ako napaparusahan, whatever. So, I think those are the big two for me. But Kat, if you want to add anything else,
No, you know what? I'm laughing because I've received those comments when I did open up about my depression. One of the first things family has said to me was that it's because I don't pray and I don't go to church. And it's hard because like in my head, like maybe, yeah, maybe this is way of God's it's God's way of punishing me. And I was like, there's no proof. This is the proof. This is it. And it's so hard to tie that together. And actually there was a point where sige nga, I'll try it out. I'll see if I pray, if I can pray, if I go do Bible study every day, if it's gonna go away. And it didn't, because a lot of the things that I was experiencing came from things from my childhood, things that I grew up with, and things that the truths that I had in my head that weren't going away. And it's not something that if you pray hard enough, biglang mawawala na siya from your head. And there are some things that, well, you really need medication. You really need to seek professional advice from. So that's something that I have felt and I have experienced. But other myths of mental health is when you say when you say you're taking care of your mental health, or this person has a mental health problem, the automatic thinking, and you mentioned it earlier, Kana, is that baliw or may sayad and may Celtic and all these things, all these very derogatory words, and it's coming from a very narrow perspective towards mental health. Yes, there are some that can be of harm to themselves and to others, but that's a myth that all people with mental health problems are violent and unpredictable. And to some extent, there are a lot of it is really is curable. A lot of it is something that you can teach to cope. You can teach people with mental health problems to cope better, only if they get access to the kind of support and care that they need. The fact that they're already classifying mental people with mental health concerns is okay. There's nothing we can do about them. They're crazy. They need to go to a special hospital, etc. That's a very narrow-minded way of thinking about mental health. Everybody has mental health, and no one is immune to mental health problems.
Correct. I think siguro to add lang to this is that um one of the things the mental models I guess with mental health is that it's your fault. So on top of everything that you guys said, that parang if you have a mental health issue, it's kasalanan mo yun eh. Ikaw lang naman gumagawa niyan eh, 'di ba? So parang I think those are part of the words when we have or when we tell someone that we're depressed. I remember someone na parang 'di ba yung parang parang yun, she was really clinically depressed. And then what you said, Kana and Kat, exactly. She was sharing with me that she was told na kasalanan mo yan kasi exactly you're not praying. You just made it all up in your head and you're just making it harder for yourself. Parang ganon. So instead of receiving the concern and love that the person needed at that time, receiving that, yun yung nakuha niya. So parang, so my friend was telling me during that time, like, kung if she wasn't pa talaga in a super, parang if she wasn't in the right mind pa, I mean, diba, kung pag nandoon ka in the zone, you're really down and then you cannot get up, and then biglang sasabihin ka na gano'n na it's your fault and so on, parang it's just not a good feeling. So parang sinasabi niya talaga na parang it was good that she parang got into, in a way, parang she was able to like, no, I'm not gonna listen to this, and then talk to other people to be able to support her. So, but yeah, we have all these stigma and myths and na nangyayari talaga in our country. It's all around us. And I like what you said, Kat and Canon, na parang resilience is about being stronger. So I believe in part of being stronger and part of being resilient is there's really that acceptance, right, of the reality. So I think that's really also part of that, that since we're talking about it, we we're not saying we're not gonna change it. And I think the very fact that we have organizations like MindNation and that we have these kinds of partnership is because this is one of our ways to change the stigma. But at the same time, we do realize that that this change won't happen overnight, right?
Yes,
Sorry,
I
is my breaking? Sorry, wait. Okay,
It's
sorry.
okay. It's all good. I heard
Okay.
every little thing, and I'm glad that you said that, because when that's another myth, that when you take care of our mental health, it's just something that, oh, you go on vacation, just one vacation to take care of your mental health, just take a day off and just to take care of your mental health. But it's a journey. If you're burnt out or if you're already depressed, this is coming from um, weeks, maybe months, or maybe even years of cultivating that kind of thinking. And it comes also from there's a comment here from Joms also that says that it's coming from how you grew up, how you're brought up as well. So all of these things, they don't just dramatically or magically shift, and your mental health doesn't automatically become better after one night. It's a journey, and you have to make these very conscious habits to practice having that better mindset, having better mental health behaviors, and really putting your awareness to the now. Kana?
Yeah.
Okay, I think she's getting cut up. It's okay. All right. There's someone. Mika also said something here that's interesting. So she said, someone told me, "How can you be depressed when you're so blessed?" And that's one thing that you have to also be able to separate yourself from the blessings. It's good to be grateful. It's actually it's very good to think about your blessings. In fact, it kind of sets the balance, but it doesn't solely mean that just because good things are happening to you, you're not allowed to have bad feelings. You're not allowed to have bad experiences, diba?
Exactly.
Dar.
Exactly. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Everything's okay. Okay. I can see myself like disappearing.
No problem.
Okay. Yeah, actually I love that na parang it's like when it's I have this friend like a life coach and a healer. So sometimes like what they say ha, bakit ka nade-depress? Eh, di ba life coach ka or healer ka? Di ba? Yung parang may ganun that if you're good or things are going well in your, I mean, that you have a lot of blessings or that you're a teacher, you're a healer, you're a coach, you're not allowed to have these bad feelings. Which I think is parang nakaka-invalidate din yun, di ba? Regardless of your position, regardless of where you are, there are really a lot of things that are happening and you really go up and down. So there will be times that you have negative feelings and there will be times that you have positive feelings.
Absolutely. I think I was opening up to a group of people about my depression like a few weeks ago, and I got this message from someone saying like, "Why should we?" And believe this, someone said, "Why should we listen to you if you have depression?" And I told them that, it's important to be talking about your story, where I'm coming from. It makes me all the more credible to talk about
Correct.
mental health because I'm experiencing it. But at the same time, you'll never know who you talk to that is experiencing the same thing and is hiding it deep inside, pretending to be okay. 2 out of 5 people 2 out of 5 people have mental health concerns, and that's a big number, meaning anyone you meet could have a completely different story that you don't know, that they're not seeing, they're not talking about on social media. Maybe Kana, you could share about like more of the importance of why we need to talk about our mental health.
Yeah, of course. Well, first thing, Kat, we need to talk about it because it exists. Yun kasi, yung isa sa mga iniisip ng mga tao before, even before the mental health advocacy started. And I've been seeing it in the comments also na nasa isip mo lang yan, gawa-gawa lang yan, dahilan mo lang yan. But it exists. It really exists. And actually, we need to treat mental health just as how we treat our physical health because it goes together. So for example, when you experience physical health concerns, let's say you've been diagnosed with an illness or a sickness, it takes a toll on you mentally. Na you feel sad, you feel worried, you feel anxious, or
Yeah.
whatever it is that you feel. And then when you're experiencing naman all of these emotions, when you feel overly anxious, depressed, let's say, or extreme sadness, it also takes a toll on your physical health. You get headaches, you get back pains, joint pains, whatever it is, also, right? So it really goes together. And, that's why I'm so grateful for all of these organizations, NGOs that existing, especially in the Philippines, because they really proved to us and they really made mental health um, talked about and be out there and educate people about it with research, with statistics, proving that it's real. Because I feel like if we don't do that, if hindi nangyari yung ganong phase, we will still think of mental health as something that doesn't exist. And so the really big thing for me is that we need to talk about mental health because it's real.
Absolutely. Dar, what are your thoughts?
Yes. Ako, definitely it's something that we need to be able to normalize the conversations on mental health. I think that's the number one thing to be able to smash the stigma. And that's really what we want to be able to achieve. And that's why I really love this partnership we have. And I know sometimes it's hard. So parang there has to be a bit of consistency also to it, right?
Yeah.
So um mental health, parang we've been, even last year we're familiar with it. As Kana said, there's like a lot of conversations about it. But actually, when we look even around us with our family and friends, there's still challenges asking for help. There's still challenges about talking about how do you really feel, or because it requires a bit of more vulnerability and openness. And remember, all these conversations, part of it is being able to have these conversations in with a safe place, right? With people who can really accept where you are. Because sometimes, lalo kang masasaktan kung biglang mong i-share and then hindi talaga siya mag-work because the people that you want to accept you or share to won't be able to really give you the support that you need. And sometimes, I'm not saying and sometimes I have to, for me, I have to acknowledge sometimes it's not their fault. Let's say for our parents, because it's something that they really didn't know about,
Yeah.
right? Or it wasn't something they talk about during their time. So they also didn't know any better. So I think
Yeah.
that's the what we're trying to change in our generation.
No, absolutely. I think there are two things there. If you're not in the right in a safe headspace, if you feel like you really need someone to talk to, and someone says, "Nasa isip mo lang yan," or "Nagdadrama ka lang," or "It's not important," stay away from that person. Kahit na family mo yan. Kasi you don't, you know, you're gonna you're gonna think about it, but you're gonna think, oh, they don't know. I need to educate them. It adds to your stress. It adds
Correct.
to your anxieties. Take a step back. You don't need that kind of energy. You don't need to surround yourself with people who aren't gonna be supportive. There are people that are willing to listen, and if If you really can't find one, there's MindNation available 24/7. And you can also seek the help of a professional, a psychologist. That's their job. That's what they're supposed to do and help you like put things back together. But if you have the space, if you have the space for it, now you say you're not feeling well and this person's being naive, but this person is very important to you, or kunyari lang you live in the same roof and you really cannot avoid this person, then take the time to educate them. Take the time to take them through what you're feeling, why you're feeling that way, and be honest with them. It's important to be honest about how you're feeling even when you're at your lowest, because you'll never know. Maybe this person is just also projecting, and he or she wants to be okay so bad that he or she expects everybody else to be okay, and tries to like, okay, this is what I want to say, just okay, just don't think about it, nagdadrama ka lang, because that's what he's saying in his head too. So be honest, be open about it, talk about it, in the most casual way. Don't make it's a big deal, but if you can squeeze it out of any conversation, normalize it. That's something that we should always keep doing to fight the stigma. Kinda. Can we hear
I
him?
think Kana, we can't hear you. Or right? There's no sound from Kana.
Okay, I think she's cutting up.
Yeah.
Maybe Kana, you can reconnect and then let us. We can. It's fine. No worries. It happens.
But siguro ako, um, it's really I agree. It's really all about normalizing the conversation. And I like the question that we have here. Regarding about one of the best that it's important. Like the question is, why is it important to talk about mental health when you're well, not just when you're struggling? And
Mm,
I think that's very key to our what we just shared a while ago regarding it's important nga talaga na we create that safe space, right? And you're unable to create that safe space if parang when you're well, hindi nyo rin pinag-uusapan yung feelings, right? Na
right,
parang as if bawal maging masaya. Kaya bawal natin pag-usapan. Ganun ba? 'Di ba? So parang, syempre, even in good times, let's talk about the good times. Let's try
yeah,
to appreciate, acknowledge, feel, just be present in that good times, right? So at the same time, when it's bad times, we're able to create, oh, this space. Yeah, last time parang super okay tayo, ganun tayo, this is what we were able to do, this is what we're able to accomplish. But now, we're not in a good place. So what are you feeling? Where are you? And it helps talaga create that balance na parang you're able to talk about both the good and the bad, right?
I
And
think when you're in that space, when you're well, and you know deep down you're really well, you have some sort of, it's not a responsibility. It's not your responsibility to check in on
correct.
others, but you're at your most capable to help others in need. So share that joy, be there for that person, because it it's going to be very difficult if you're in a bad position, if you feel like you're not well and you're trying to support others also, you're just gonna clash and you're just gonna
Yeah.
feed off each other's negative energy. So yes, it's very important that you open up and talk about mental health also when you're at your best. You're at the most capable to give love and support to those that need it. Kana, are you back?
Yes, can you hear me now?
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, we can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Third world internet here. But yeah, I agree with you, Kat. And 'di ba sabi nga nila, you can't pour from an empty cup. So you really
Mm-mm.
have to take care of yourself first before ka magkakaroon ng capability to take care of other people as well.
Absolutely. I'm going to go ahead and read a few of the comments because some I think it ties in with the next question that we have. We're seeing hello, hi Jack says that it doesn't help that the titos and titas would say that during their time wala namang ganon, wala namang mental health concerns. And yeah, that's exactly what you're saying, Dar, na it's our generation that's really shifting that conversation because
Correct.
like see how we grew up, seeing how unresilient we are and how we're struggling it, especially during a pandemic. Who would have thought, right? So we now want to normalize, we now want to talk about it a lot more, and it doesn't mean that just because they're not talking about it they're well. They may have had different ways, maybe life was a lot simpler. It's so much harder now, so much more complicated. There's social media now, so
Yeah.
there's a lot of there's a lot of things that we can't compare, diba?
Yes, we can't
And
compare.
I guess there's one more that I want you guys to comment on. Jana says, personally, I think it's easier to open up to strangers. It's there's less or even no judgment compared to sharing stories with your friends and relatives. Dar, you have a wonderful community with Will
Yes.
Dellinger, and a lot of them, of course, they connect with each other and they connect because of their love for growth, for journaling, everything. But what are your thoughts in talking about problems with strangers within the community?
I definitely agree with that because I think tama talaga yung sinasabi kasi one of the things that's why a lot of our challenges or a lot of our mental health issues roots down to our family, 'di ba? Na yung parang nung bata tayo, all the parang I just watched recently, like the all our beliefs are something that we got from our family up to 5 years old. So like how we were like I guess brought up, taken care of from 0 to 5 is carried on until we are as an adult. But of
Yeah.
course, the other thing naman that I learned our full frontal cortex is fully formed at 24 years old. So at 24 years old, we cannot anymore blame our parents or how we were growing up. Kasi 24 na, buo na. So, meron na tayo dapat acceptance na, okay, this is my reality. These are the beliefs that came about with me or
Yeah.
with me growing up. And then at the same time, like, ganito yung family ko, kahit anong gawin ko, this is how they are, or this is how my friends are. So these connections, they're hard to change. So sometimes it's really easier to be able to talk to strangers or people na friends, kahit pero hindi kayo super close, they don't know a lot of things about in your life because exactly, you won't be judged because they won't have any attachment to the you that they knew from before. And then of course now there's changes and there's adjustments, right? So
Yeah.
I totally agree, and I hope right in our communities, what be it in Belle de Jour or in Mind Nation, we're able to get up the courage to just be able to ask, and of course we do our best naman talaga to keep everything as private as possible, and we have our confidentiality.
Absolutely. Oops, she disappeared. Kana, how about you? What are your thoughts? Kana? Okay, I can't hear you.
Hello? Hello, can you hear
Are
me,
you
Kat?
there? Yes, yes.
Hello?
Okay, I think we're having technical difficulties with
Can
Dar
you
and
hear
Kana.
me?
No. Are you guys back?
Yes, sorry, Kat.
Yes,
I think
I
it's a
can
not
hear. Can you hear
good
me
day
now?
for the internet. Maybe it's a lunar eclipse or something.
It
Can you
is
guys
the
hear me?
blood moon. It's the blood
The
moon.
blood
Oh
moon.
no. Hannah, we can't. You're super choppy. There you okay.
Ayan,
Yeah,
sorry.
that's no
Okay.
problem. See, Lisa has a comment here. She'd like to comment on the word safe space. Sometimes having a safe space can inhibit growth. It's important to balance these forces. Well, yes, yes. To some extent, we do need to be pushed out of our comfort zone, diba, for us to be able to grow. And
Correct,
that's actually
correct.
how we also feel and should perceive stress. We always think of
Mhm.
stress as a bad thing when, there's two kinds of stress. There's eustress, which is good, it pushes us, motivates us, challenges us, and then you have distress when it's too much already. Like
Correct.
and it takes too long. When we say safe space though here is that we can be our completely honest and open and our truest version of ourselves. It doesn't mean that being able to be true to yourself won't let you grow. In fact, it really encourages you to be the best version of yourself. And I think there's a it can be a safe space and it can be challenging, but it can be a safe space for you mentally as well. Hannah, are you back?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes,
Can you
we
You're a
can
hear
hear
little
me?
you.
choppy, but yes.
All right. I'm getting stressed.
You're getting pushed out of your comfort zone. So,
Yeah.
it's
Oh my
okay.
god, this
It's just
internet.
it's okay. It's like ano, parang what we say with our FB lives also. It's like very meaningful casual conversations with friends talaga. So it's fine. We know the internet issues and challenges here in our country are needs a bit of growth. Kailangan ng madaming improvement. So it's fine.
No.
Maybe
No
we can go
problem.
into the question, Kat and Kana, regarding how can we support a loved one who's struggling with mental health. A loved one who
Yeah. So that's a very good question, actually. Because some of the people that approaches me usually say, na, "Oh, a friend is experiencing mental health issues, or a family member is experiencing mental health issues, and they don't know how to start." So I feel like when you're approaching this kind of situation, the first thing talaga is to know the warning signs of mental health problems. So, for example, if they're withdrawing if they're withdrawing from social interaction, if they have unusual problems functioning, maybe at school or at work, or even their social activities, or dramatic changes in their sleep and appetite. So all of these are possible signs. So it doesn't necessarily mean that the person has a mental health issue if they experience this, but these symptoms could be related. So that's one. Know the warning signs of mental health issues. Next is to approach the issue. When I say approach the issue, it's not just us na nagbibigay lang ng advice. No, it's really important to just listen and be there. Kasi one of the hardest and most important steps for that person struggling is just starting the conversation, and maybe for you also as their support system. So you don't have to be an expert, or you don't have to have the answers. Just express your concern and willingness to listen and be there for that person, and don't be afraid to talk about it. So reassure them that you care about them, and you're there for them. So one of the most effective ways actually is to use what they call the I statements. So for example, I am worried about you. I would like you to consider talking with a professional rather than you are this or you should do this, etc., etc. And next is, of course, to know the support that's available outside. Know when and where to refer them. So, for example, it can be a coach, it can be a well-being coach, it can be a psychologist, it can be a counselor or a psychiatrist, depending on what that person needs. And of course, to seek support for yourself. Self-care pa rin. We talked about it earlier na you can't help other people if you yourself na hindi mo natutulungan. So you have to take care of yourself first, and then taking care of others will follow. I hope I didn't cut up.
No, it's okay. It's okay, Kana. I caught most of it, and then if it did get cut off, because I heard most of it, I will repeat. Know the warning signs. Make sure you educate yourself as much as possible when it comes to mental health. See if there are any changes in the person's attitude, habit. Are there a little are they feeling a little short fused? Do they not eat? Do they eat too much? Sleeping, no motivation for the things they love. A lot of these things, you can't. I would not recommend that you diagnose this person on the go. You're depressed or you're anxious. That's not the way it is. You see the warning signs and see how long it's taking. Usually, if it prolongs 2 weeks, because someone can feel sad for like a day and experience all those signs. But if it's prolonging already, that might be, and this person is a harm to themselves and to others. Those are signs that this person needs to reach out to someone for help. So another that kind of mentioned is to approach the situation, approach this person, and as much as possible, try to use I statements. Because when you do use you statements, you are doing this, you are doing that. It kind of feels like a blame. It feels like it's something that's out of their control. It doesn't label them. So when you use I feel like you should seek help. I feel like you're not your best. This is something that will see it will make them recognize, okay, this is another person's perspective. This is how they're viewing it. And so there's more openness if it's something that is not pointing fingers at them. And of course, link them to the proper experts if possible. See how you can help them reach out if there are places, organizations, and things that they can do to seek support. Then do
Mm-hmm.
that. If this person's in denial, and I saw a comment earlier
Yes.
from Jack, what if this person's in denial?
Versus. Mm-hmm.
I think it's always baby steps. You can't shove in their throat and say like, I feel like you really need to seek help. If this person is not open to seeking help,
Ready.
they're yeah, if they're not ready, they're not.
Correct.
Even like if you throw them to the psychologist and make them sit there, it's not gonna get in their head because they don't want to. They're in denial. So
Yes.
make it something that you guys, if he or she trusts you well enough, make it a journey for both of you. Say that, okay, I also need to go to the psychologist too. Maybe we can do it together, or maybe we can do these things together. You don't have to make them like have an epiphany and realize it all at once. But baby steps and making sure that they know that you're there and that there's someone that they can trust and listen to is very important. Did I get that correct, Kana? Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Perfect. Perfect. I believe you captured a lot of things that Kana said as well, and it's very nice. So kaya guys, since we're talking about support, and I saw a lot of affirmations in our chat regarding the tip on I am. Do you guys want to share about Mind Nation services? Because Mind Nation guys can also provide the support for you and your loved ones. You can just share them, like maybe share like Hey, I heard that in BDJ and the Mind Nation FB Live that you can try doing this. You can just check
Yeah.
in via the question in Messenger and see where you are. So it's not
Yes.
intimidating. So do you want to
Yeah.
share, Kat or Kana, the services of Mind Nation?
Kiana? Oh no, he's getting cut off again. No, we can't hear you.
It's okay.
No
The
worries. I
beautiful
got
face
you.
of Kana is gracing us tonight.
I know. I got you, girl. If you do, I'm sure Kana will share it also on Instagram. I'm already telling you, Kana. Maybe you should just share it on Instagram. But if you guys do
Yes,
need
thank
help, if you guys do need help and need someone to talk to, Mind Nation has 24/7 chat. That's for free. You can seek the help of a care assistant. They're trained in mental health first aid. By mental health first aid, that's being able to receive any of your concerns, anything under the sun. Just they'll talk to them about it, and they'll also be able to link you to the proper experts if they feel like okay, you need someone more. I wouldn't say more professional. Of course, they're professionals, but if you need someone more specialized in your concern to talk to, there's psychologists that you can book English, Tagalog, Bisaya, Arabic, French, and there's also well-being coaches that you can reach out to as well. So that's available. The booking's available 24/7. It's 100% secure and confidential. We're not gonna tell other people about it. And if for your organization, if there's anyone here that are leaders, managers right now that are listening, or CEOs like Dar and Kana, you can get mental health services for your employees as well. So just reach out to Mind Nation at hello@themindnation.com. You can email
yeah.
us or you can
So
comment here.
My Nation actually partners with companies.
Did I hear something?
Yung
Oh
voice and
no.
disconnect, yeah. Yung voice and video, it's not synchronizing.
It's
May
okay,
delayed yung
Kana.
video. It's okay, Kana. So, My Nation connects with companies, right? That's what I heard from Kana. Um, so if you're working in your companies, if you want to be able to just refer your HR also to My Nation to be able to, just in case your company can be able to also support you and your other teammates, I'm sure kung kaya, diba, they would help. I really believe that. And then at this time, any kind of support is important. So this is what I appreciate about my nation. It's 24/7 because our mental health is really happens 24/7, right? Sometimes you may have like a anxiety attack or some challenges in the middle of the night when you wake up. All of these things. Yes, students can access it. So please do message my nation. Uh, sabi ni Naz Kana, bakit ang unfair, ang ganda mo pa din kahit nasa-stress ka. Sabi ko nga see, your contribution. Thank you so much, Nas. Um, I appreciate. So, ayan. Kaya the internet is so crazy.
Yeah.
Ayan, just reading off some things in the comments also. Naz is also saying that it's very helpful in the MindNation
Oh.
Messenger. Thank you so much for the affirmation.
Thank you, Naz. I'm glad we're able to help. Yes, tama si Dar. You can access it also as a student. Encourage your friends, your family members to like as well the My Nation page on Instagram and on Facebook, because we do release, well, apart from these amazing live streams that we have with BDJ, we release a lot of insights from experts and blogs and articles that can help you also, can be vital for you to take care and to build those good mental habits as well. So thank you so much for all of those affirmations. And thank
Yes.
you also to Dar. Dar has been an amazing Dar and the BGDB the BDJ
BDJ
team.
team.
The BDJ team has been absolutely wonderful in being able to extend their platform to us for and this opportunity also to really reach more amazing people and Bellas like you guys. It's I'm very grateful.
Yeah. I think at this time, any kind of support that we're able to get, we want to be able to give you. And I'm sure that you guys, I mean, right
Okay.
now, we're still in the middle of the pandemic. We've talked about it in the past months. We're in year two. Maybe we're wondering, will it reach year three with all the despite the vaccinations right now, or will the vaccination roll out be enough? So there's really that uncertainty. But siguro I would bring it back to what Kat and Kana said earlier regarding the resilience. The resilience is not really going back to where you were before, diba? That's something that Kat said. But rather, it's really something that we accept. Yeah, this is a current situation. Fully accepting ourselves, our strengths, our weaknesses, our limitations at this time. And in that full acceptance, that's the only time we can make our choices into what direction we can go towards to. And I feel that's what resilience is all about. Because shoving it down and saying, ayoko na isipin yan, or parang masyadong nakaka-overwhelm, or ayoko na munang pag-usapan, just bottles things up. And at the same time, it won't help you face what is really the reality right now. And if you're not facing it 100%, then that might be a challenge for you to see the choices that you have, if that makes
Absolutely.
sense. Kasi 'di ba masyadong blurry. Kung yung windshield mo, if you're driving a car or in a car, it's blurry because there are things that you don't want to look at.
Mm-mm.
So how do you see your choices? So I really just love that resilience line. So I hope that's my takeaway. So I'm just gonna share my takeaway.
No, I love that, and
Um,
thanks for sharing that takeaway. Because when you think about resilience and when you think about taking care of your mental health, a lot of people think, "Nah, I just want to be normal, like normal again, as if there was a normal."
yeah,
And
there's no normal
there
guys.
is no normal. You have to be always ready to face the challenges. There are always going to be these things that hit you like it's unexpected. So we have to develop that resiliency for it, and may we never ever go back to our old selves because our old selves were people that didn't know any better, and now we're
Our
experiencing,
old
we're
selves
learning.
belong to yesterday.
Very true. Kana, are you there?
Wala yung sound.
But then it's okay. You're
It's
so
okay, it's
beautiful.
okay. Yeah. So actually, that's our show for tonight, guys. But before we end, we have this outro question, Kat and Kana. And maybe
Yes.
Kana, you can just chat it if you're able to. How do you see abundance happening in your life this 2021? So I know we've talked about smashing the mental health stigma and that it exists. And syempre, with BDJ, gusto namin, we're still having this hope. So, how do you see abundance happening in your life in 2021?
Oh my goodness. I all actually, you know what? This month I felt that abundance already. At the very start, I wanted to focus on my advocacies, on myself, what I really want to do, and how I can better help people. And that overflowing amount of opportunity and support is happening, and I feel it all the more this month. And I hope that everybody does. I hope that even with challenges, they get to view it from a different perspective. It's a new way for them to learn, it's a new way for them to grow, and having that mindset automatically puts us on a different it shifts everything, and it shows that when we view our challenges, when we view our problems or things that stress us out in a different way, we're able to approach it in a more positive and more productive manner. And we're see when I feel that, when I see like, okay, there's so many things that I have to do, so many things that I haven't done yet, and it's so easy for me to get stressed out. But at the same time, I already feel it and I'm claiming it, that the abundance is already here, and the only thing that I can possibly ask for is more time. And I want to manifest that. I want to have more time to be able to take care of myself. Kana?
Yeah, and
Okay, she had a
we have
comment. Go ahead, Dar.
yes, she had a comment. So from Kana, guys, for me, more learnings and experiences personally, and spreading affordable and accessible mental health support all over the world and touching more lives. So definitely a very abundant results and answers. So thank you,
How about you?
Kana. Thank you, Kat.
How about you, Dar?
For
Before we
me,
close.
before we close, my for me the abundance really is coming also from the support. Kasi parang one of the things that I'm really, I guess my journey right now is that being able to accept help right at this time, that it's all parang it's 'di ba parang circle of life talaga do, parang helping each other. And meron akong last na i-share kasi
Hello?
I
Can you
felt
hear me?
so I
Yeah.
I felt that I learned this recently also, that you cannot just keep on breathing out. So that's you giving and giving and giving. After 4 minutes, you'll die. So you have to inhale, right? You cannot keep on exhaling. So inhaling is taking, exhaling is giving, right? So you have to have this balance of give and take. And that's what I would want to have more this 2021, that balance of the give and take. Because I think that's just amazing to have and
Yay.
to be in that space.
I
Ayan.
pray for balance for everyone, for Kana, for Udar, for everybody here watching. Thank you so much for spending your Wednesday night, your last Wednesday of Mental Health Month with us. It's really been such
Yes.
an amazing and insightful discussion. Aside from the internet connection problems, we're excited and we're very honored to have Kana with us
Thank you. Thank you
also.
so much, Kana.
Yay! Thank
Yay.
you very much for the opportunity, as usual, Dar, and the insightful talk. We're excited, and I want to be the one to remind everyone that the BDJ is having a giveaway every episode. So sign in and register on the Bitly link that they have on the caption. I think
Yes,
just
bit.ly/BDJ Studio, sign up there.
yes, sign up there so that you get the chance to win some cool BDJ prizes. And very soon, meron na kaming ambag ni Kana dyan sa for Mind Nation's prizes as
But
well. Thank you very much, Dar and
thank you
Kana.
guys. Thank you everyone for watching, and please do catch us again in the fourth Wednesday of the month on June 23. But next week you'll see me again for BDJ Studios game plan. So thank you
Ooh.
and good night.